remembers September 11th, 2001. An Iowa's News Channel 7 special report.
Eastern Iowans today on this very special one-year anniversary, allowing for reflection and remembrance 1 year after the September 11th attack on America. Good afternoon, everyone. Eastern Iowans have been very busy today. It has been one of those kind of days that has just been coming. We've kind of dreaded it for so long, but it is here, and there's been so many things going on today. And right now, a special one-hour program that we'd like to bring to you to kind of reflect on what Iowans have been thinking about and remembering. We call it Iowa Remembers.
And so many people have been remembering in different ways, whether it's through church services or colleges getting together and sharing their experiences. And while it's happened so many miles away, it has affected so many here in Eastern Iowa. Now, throughout the next hour, we're going to be talking about and sharing the inside lives of a lot of people here in Eastern Iowa.
Yeah, all told, there were 7 Iowans who were killed in the attack. 3 of them, of course, at the Pentagon. Flight 77 went down there, including Waverly's Karen Kincaid and also Craig Amundsen of the community of Animos. So we'll be talking a little bit about them in this special report.
First, though, we're going to go back to Ground Zero in New York City because President Bush is there and he's going to be talking there at the Pentagon. In Washington, D.C.
Speaking tonight and tomorrow on some weighty matters, won't be with them or speaking to them in any sort of joint session. The signal here is from these assembled members of Congress, we are with you. And right now, that happens to be Ground Zero, New York. And welcome back. This is live NBC News coverage on MSNBC and the television stations of the NBC television network. The President and Mrs. Bush, as they have been for several minutes, are at the bottom of, as we said earlier, is now somewhat unbelievably a windswept plain, a 16-acre area that was once home to the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. There is music in the background, and these are the people still hurting so badly after the loss they suffered 1 year ago today. We should explain the sound you hear in the background is the extraordinarily high winds from 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts here in lower Manhattan today as a weather front pushes its way through. It has become a factor today down here. We are joined by NBC News White House correspondent David Gregory, who spends a good amount of time for a living with this president. David, you just mentioned a scene right after the attacks. You were with the president. He went behind the scenes with the families. What happened?
Well, it was after that moment that so many Americans and so many citizens around the world remember, when he pulled that bullhorn up and said that the rest of the world will hear from all of us soon. And then he went to the Armory on the Upper West Side of New York and spent more than an hour without the cameras present, greeting the family members of victims. And it was a moment that all those who were present described as so moving and so poignant because this was a president doing then what you see him doing so publicly today, which is he's in no rush. He's taking the time for a lengthy hug or a kiss or a handshake. Time, as I even, watching his lips moves, I can read his lips sometimes and I can see what he's doing. He's asking people to tell them the name of a loved one, who they lost, and taking the time to give a hug. There was such a poignant story from that last meeting when the mother of a Port Authority police officer offered the badge of her son to the president. He kept that badge and he brandished it proudly in an act of defiance and resolve during the State of the Union address. So very much a similar scene.
He's a politician by trade. This is not politics that we're watching. This is what he has to do for a living. This is a man from Texas who says he gets along perhaps best with the folks at the coffee shop not far from his ranch. This is a man who says, give me regular people any day.
Yeah, and this is not a president who needs this part of the office to be scripted for him. He understands this instinctually. He understood it on September 14th. He knows what so many of these family members are thinking, and I think he realizes, like so many of us realize, that this one-year anniversary, we hope, is a way for the strength of the nation to be reflected back to these.
You're watching NBC network coverage of what is going on at Ground Zero in New York City. We're going to continue to monitor the situation there, but we have some local reaction to what happened just 1 year ago.
Well, as you know, there were 7 Iowans who died in the attack on America exactly 1 year ago today. Craig Amundsen of Anamosa was killed in his office at the Pentagon. Jim Cleary of West Des Moines, the only one actually killed who lived in Iowa these days. Tim Haviland of Ames was a native Iowan who lost his life. We mentioned Karen Kincaid of Waverly. She was on Flight 77, which hit the Pentagon. Sandra Teague from West Des Moines was also killed. Michael Tinley of Council Bluffs. And former Iowa State gymnast Murray Ray Soper. One of the victims, Karen Kincaid of Waverly, was honored just this week by students at her alma mater high school, Waverly Shell Rock.
Today, the nation pays our respects to them. Here and in Pennsylvania and in New York, we honor each name and each life.
And there was this flyover of U.S. military jets in honor of the victims who lost their lives at the Pentagon, including Iowans Karen Kincaid and Craig Amundsen. All told, the hijacking of American Airlines Flight 77 claimed the lives of 184 people, including Karen and Craig. Karen's brother Chris is a Lutheran minister in Dubuque.
It took me a while to really grasp the fact that Karen Ann was killed, that I would not see her again this side of eternity. But I also know that to let hatred and revenge and ill will rule my life was not the right thing to do.
And may that bring you peace throughout the days ahead.
The Kincaid family is a very close, deeply religious family. On this occasion, they gathered to pray for Karen. And like this memorial to Karen in her hometown of Waverly, there were many special occasions, special services to honor Karen, including the one this week at Waverly Shell Rock High School. Craig Amundsen's parents came back to Iowa from Missouri this summer to help unveil the new Jones County War Memorial, which of course includes their son's name.
Just overwhelmed that something like this could first of all happen, but I'm grateful for all the people that have worked so hard on this memorial, and it's really overwhelming. I'm not a very political person, but I think they should be brought to justice.
But so far, only one man faces trial in connection with the September 11th attack on America, which as of this moment has claimed the lives of 3,025 people. And the financial cost of September 11th, that is being estimated at $83 billion. You know, because of the attack 1 year ago today, New York City alone lost more than 83,000 jobs, more than the entire population of Waterloo lost in jobs alone. Of course, not to mention the loss of life and the lifelong emotional devastation being endured still by the surviving family members.
A touching ceremony at Ground Zero this morning, perhaps the most touching part coming at a Circle of Honor. Family members took part in today's events by carrying flowers and other memorabilia down the ramp and then placing them at this ring as former Mayor Giuliani and others read the names of all 2,801 who died.
Abraham.
You know, the mood at the Pentagon today, mournful yet defiant. Victims remembered, as I mentioned earlier, thousands gathering outside this rebuilt section. Watching that military flyover, the crowd cheered as the President and Defense Secretary Rumsfeld then unfurled that massive American flag on the rebuilt section. This is the same flag which was unfurled shortly after the attacks there.
And speaking at the Pentagon, President Bush said the 184 victims died in tragedy, but he said they did not die in vain. During an emotional speech today at the Pentagon, Bush vowed that the U.S. military will continue to take on the terrorists and the dictators who, quote, plot against our lives and our liberty.
This was the scene today in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Thousands gathering at the crash site of United Airlines Flight 93. 40 doves, look at that site there, released to remember the 40 people who are being honored as heroes for trying to take out the hijackers and keeping the plane from reaching, apparently, its destination, Washington, D.C. Let's roll, they said.
Well, one Eastern Iowa's earliest tributes this morning was held in Marion as the sun was rising over the police and fire stations, and those who wanted to remember did so in the company of the men and women who protect them.
With that in mind, let's go live here to the set. Dan DeRose was at that special ceremony, and Dan, I'll tell you, the speech, of course, that they gave today that was recited by one of the assistant fire chiefs, I believe, in Marion, one of the most famous speeches in American history, one of the shortest also, but it's so appropriate here today.
You wouldn't expect it, but the assistant fire chief gave the speech of the Gettysburg Address. Of course, the famous Lincoln speech given at Gettysburg. Now, the speech was first given in 1863, dedicating a cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It was to honor the many who died during the Civil War and were buried at Gettysburg. And as you're about to see, it was very appropriate for today. There are many of the same sounds heard at 9/11 ceremonies all over the country, with Eastern Iowans having many of the same reactions. And even the youngest seem to know what it's all about.
What is it about?
About the American people.
And how odd that words spoken almost 140 years ago by President Lincoln are just as fitting now when spoken by Marion Assistant Fire Chief John Madland.
The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract.
The flag will remain at half-staff for the rest of September 11th, and that comes as an order from the President to show that whether we're in Marion, Waterloo, or New York City, this country is united under one flag, albeit a flag at half-staff.
I thought it was just in memory of all of those who died at the World Trade Center, and I just felt that I had to do something, and this was the best thing I knew what to do.
And that's exactly what a lot of the people we talked to today said. They felt they just had to do something, go to their church, be with others, or possibly just stay at home. They felt they had to do something. Very popular sentiment. September 11th, 1 year later, you have to remember it in your own way.
Absolutely. And so many people feel out of control because it happens so far away, and yet it's very personal to each and every one.
Right.
But we've seen, though, a great nation shall not perish from the earth. Also, New York Governor Pataki, he also read that today. Probably was read a lot of places around the country, Dan. Thanks a lot. Coming up next in our special report is hour-long special here on Iowa's News Channel 7. We'll be having more special coverage as we go to the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center in Cedar Falls.
So stay with Iowa's News Channel.
I've always been terribly patriotic, but I think I am much more so now. And I just am praying that it affects everybody.
Smolikoff's American Spirit Sale makes decorating your home and vacationing more affordable than ever. Vacation on us with a qualifying purchase. We want you to experience America. Stay at any of 600 locations, plus receive a $30 dining certificate and $30 free gas. Go where your spirit takes you. Having shopped Smolikoff's, you know you'll have a home you want to come back to. But hurry, because when this sale is gone, so are the vacations. We've got it all at Smolikoff's, downtown Cedar Rapids.
Someone is waiting, and even if you've said yes on your driver's license, we still need you to sign up on the Iowa Donor Registry at iowadonorregistry.org. This online list saves lives, and someone is waiting. Please register online at iowadonorregistry.org or call 1-877-DONOR-IA. Make a life-size gift today because someone is waiting.
Thank you.
It's golf's greatest road trip and summer's best value. This summer, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail is an even bigger value. Play 3 days of unlimited golf starting at $99 a person. Or ask about our summer sampler, 162 holes of great golf for $99. Long summer days let you play all the golf you can handle. Call 1-800-257-3465 today to book your trip to the trail.
I'm Mark Schnackenberg. Each Tuesday in September, I'm teaming up with Hy-Vee to give away cash. It's the Brands for Grands $100,000 giveaway. Register today at your local Hy-Vee or visit KWWL.com for details. The Brands crew is coming.
In addition to church events going on, many events happening all across the area today, honoring those who lost their lives a year ago today.
At the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center in Cedar Falls, there are a lot of special events that you can still catch. For more on what we can expect, Crystal Britt joins us live now from the Gallagher Blue Dome with a preview.
Well, Bobby and Ron, it's going to be quite a night here tonight at the Gallagher Blue Dome in Cedar Falls. There's so many events happening here tonight. Now, the big event is going to be the Remembrance Concert, which is set to start here at 7:30 tonight. But before all that, we do have a preview show that will be taking place here in just a few minutes. And for more on that, we are joined now live by the Executive Director of the Performing Arts Center, Steve Kerrigan. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, a lot of things going on tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Crystal. There's a lot of things going on and a lot of people involved in doing them. We have folks from the Red Cross, the Waterloo Cedar Falls Symphony Orchestra, the Metropolitan Chorale. We have some material from the Grout Museum. We have members of the military, members of almost every volunteer organization you could think of. And they've all come together for one great purpose, which is to remember the event and to share their thoughts and memories and hopefully help people heal and at least recount and pay respects to the terrible tragedy that happened and the people that were lost.
Right, and you said we do have still a few tickets left for the 7:30 show?
About a dozen or so, and so you can still squeak in if you call in quick, but it is going to be pretty much a full house, and we've been rehearsing the show exhaustively for the last couple of days, and it's looking like quite an experience.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Steve. We thank you for your time. And we do want to point out that the pre-show, though, is free and is open to the public, and that is set to start here in just a few minutes. And we're back in a little bit more with a little more preview of tonight's events here at the Gallagher Blue Dome. Live in Cedar Falls, Crystal Britt, Iowa's News Channel 7.
And we'll continue to check in with you, Crystal. Again, the pre-show at the Gallagher Blue Dome starts at 5 o'clock in the lobby in just about 25, 30 minutes. It is free and open to the public, as Crystal mentioned, and we'll have some of the pre-show for you when it does begin at 5 o'clock.
You know, as we saw so often after September 11th, people literally donated millions and millions of dollars to special funds following the attacks. But one Eastern Iowa woman, she had a very creative way of helping the cause, and it only cost her a paintbrush and a canvas.
For more on that, Abby Boudreau joins us now in the studios to tell us more about this extremely special woman.
Well, Bobby, Jamie Carroll is a local artist who single-handedly raised thousands of dollars for the firefighters of September 11th. And the way she did it gained national attention. Jamie Carroll's first love was art. She painted throughout high school and majored in art in college, sharing her work with close friends and family. But her paintbrush pushed aside when she began what has been a long and successful career in the wine industry.
I started selling wine 21 years ago, so my passion for painting was on the back burner.
Perhaps on the back burner, but still an integral part of her life, never imagining her hobby would make a difference in people's lives.
My roommate in college passed away about a year and a half ago, and her husband called me and said that he had 3 or 4 paintings that I had painted in college and wanted to know what I wanted to do with them.
She told him to do what he wished with them, so when one of his close friends was interested in buying one, he sold it.
The friend of his was James Taylor, and I was really excited the fact that he would be interested in any of my artwork.
So taken by Jamie's work, James Taylor requested she paint more for an art show that benefited the firefighters of September 11th. More than $20,000 was raised, all of it going straight to 9/11 funds.
It was just a very humbling thing, I guess is what I want to say. I was pretty excited about it, but really I'm very humbled that somebody would pay that amount of money for my hobby.
A simple hobby with a lasting impact. Jamie was flown out to New York City for the benefit auction, and that's where her paintings were purchased. Live in the KWWL studio, Abby Boudreau, Iowa's News Channel 7.
Abby, I got to tell you, it sounds to me like Jamie ought to be getting a hold of not only James Taylor, but maybe Bob Dylan, some of those other folks too. You know, looks like he'd be interested in, for sure.
What a small world. Thanks, Abby.
Next on our September 11th special here, 1 year after the fatal day.
Eastern Iowans join hands in remembrance of the 9/11 disaster.
They pretty much seized it. They pretty much took, for that 1 second, that instant, they took all our freedom right there and had us on edge and had it just little, just like that. And that made me feel like, wow.
Right now is your chance to own quality Pennsylvania House dining room furniture at greatly reduced prices. Announcing the dining event of the year. For a very limited time, you'll save big on all Pennsylvania House dining room furniture, including the new American Traditions collection. Get half off on all dining room tables, all made from the finest quality woods nature can provide. Enjoy your holiday dining with the solid craftsmanship of Pennsylvania House.
Take advantage of store-wide savings at Kenwood House.
your home for entertaining ideas.
It's here and it's bigger than ever. Holdeman Motors Price Slicer Sale. Over 500 vehicles marked with sliced prices. $20,000 vehicles price sliced as low as $14,000. Used from as low as $12.95. 0% financing plus giant rebates on all new 2003s in stock. New Chryslers covered with a 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, prices placed on hundreds of certified used vehicles still under warranty. Sneak peek preview 5 p.m. Friday. Gates open 8 a.m. Saturday. The Price Slicer Sale, Holdeman Motors. Call the Slicer hotline 277-1210.
That's a lot of football.
That's Friday Night Heroes, Eastern Iowa's #1 high school football highlight show. A full half hour of scores, highlights, and more. Watch Friday Night Heroes after the KWWL News at 10. Friday Night Heroes is brought to you in part by these fine sponsors.
I got it!
All across the country and right here in eastern Iowa, people are remembering those who lost their lives 1 year ago today.
Tonight, Crystal Britt shows us how dozens gathered at George West State Park today early this morning to show their tribute.
Tim Haviland, he was 41.
1 year later, they haven't forgotten. Dozens of people gathered at George Wythe State Park to remember those who lost their lives on September 11th.
The people that it's affected, you know, and changed so many lives, thousands of lives, and they'll never be the same.
They called it Hands Across the Cedar Valley. Those here formed a human chain to unite and remember.
We basically wanted to focus on the positives of what happened last year, the uniting that all the communities throughout the country have felt.
The emotions poured as people were taken back to that September day, reliving the trauma.
Even though we're so, seems like so far away, but, it could have happened here, it could have happened anywhere.
A few people told us they're not even quite sure what brought them out. Some say it's just their American duty and simply the right thing to do.
I'm so proud of our country for bouncing back, and, we've always been there for each other, and our military's always been there, so it's just something that we need to keep going.
I believe in unity, and, without unity and the country standing together, we need to fight this thing all the way.
In Black Hawk County, Crystal Britt, Iowa's News Channel 7.
The group today also took time to remember the 7 Iowans who lost their lives 1 year ago.
Well, the attacks have inspired a lot of area artists. We met Jamie already. Their creations are currently on display at the Hearst Center for the Arts in Cedar Falls. KWWL TV's photojournalist Jason Mortwee takes us there.
It's been said that since we're here in the Midwest, maybe we didn't feel it as much as people in New York did, but I think that we reached out to them.
The purpose of the exhibit was for Iowa artists to have an opportunity to exhibit the work that they've done in response to the September 11th attacks.
Right after September 11th, my wife and I were kind of thinking about having children, and after that we kind of wondered if we really wanted to, with all the state of the world. And this piece is kind of addressing that. It's titled Hope.
I think art is a way that it can heal us. It can show us visual representations of our wounds that we've had, and it also can show about where we need to go from here.
I was curious about how the artists would portray their ideas on September 11th. I thought a lot of it would be pretty anger-filled, actually, and I'm surprised to see there's a lot of different reactions to it.
It's incredibly charged with emotion and feeling. Each piece is very thought through. It's, I think, a really incredible show.
Next, when our Iowa Remember special continues.
Tonight we're going to be talking with an Eastern Iowan who has played a very major role in the aftermath of 9/11.
I believe it's always good to tell somebody you love them every day, too. And just don't take things for granted. Do something good for somebody every day. And
at Check into Cash, we turn your check into cash instantly. What do you do when your cash is low and you need groceries?
Check into Cash.
What's Check into Cash?
It's a remarkable place to get instant emergency cash for a flat fee.
Check into cash.
Check into cash. Anytime you have an unexpected expense and need a payday advance, Check into Cash can make it happen. You write us a personal check and you get the cash you need instantly. We'll hold your check up to 14 days. You can be in and out within minutes. My checking account's low. I can't get what we need. Go to Check into Cash. Check into Cash. People from all walks of life have discovered that Check into Cash offers a simple solution to one of life's most difficult situations. The next time you need quick cash for whatever reason, go to Check into Cash. It's quick, easy, and confidential. Check into Cash.
I'm Catherine Jacoby, a volunteer with the American Red Cross. Like many, I reacted to the events of September 11th with great pain and sorrow. Since that day, the world has changed a lot, and we've changed with it, coming together with purpose and hope. All of us, your concern and caring has led the way. To every one of you who has helped another person during their time of need, America salutes you. Keep that spirit alive.
It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Go to Hy-Vee and register to win the Brands for Grands giveaway. Stock up on Hy-Vee private label brands, watch KWWL Tuesday mornings, and find out which town I'll be visiting Tuesday evening between 5 and 7. If the brand crew knocks on your door, you'll have 10 minutes to cash in. For every Hy-Vee private label brand you have in your home, you'll win $100. And if I see that you have KWWL on your TV, well, when I walk in the door, I'll give you an extra $100. Go to Hy-Vee and register to win today.
By occupation, Peter Tien is an Eastern Iowa funeral director, but his abilities have sent him far from home.
You know, Bobby, Peter Tien is also a Red Cross volunteer with experience in 27 disasters, including Oklahoma City. But of course, his biggest thus far, Ground Zero, the days following the attack in New York City. Aaron White reports that Peter Tien's experience there has changed him forever, too.
Departing from the Eastern Iowa airport September 13th last year, Peter Tien was one of the few Americans in the air. Heading to New York City as a Red Cross volunteer, Tien's experience with huge disasters was going to be put to the test, but he wasn't prepared for what he saw.
There were times in my 5 weeks assignment in New York City that I easily admit now was the most terrifying time in my entire life.
The horror of Ground Zero and the constant threat of more attacks was a daily encounter, but Tien and a team of volunteers working without much sleep assessed the situation and helped implement systems that are now part of disaster response protocol.
When we were at Ground Zero and saw them sleeping on the rubble, eating contaminated food, not being able to call home and talk to their kids or their wives, we knew that that was a system that needed to be established, and we were able to create that through the respite centers.
The centers provided workers hot food, doctors, counselors, and beds. Tien says he's honored to have contributed to the recovery efforts, and in a journal entry written from Ground Zero, he shares his point of view.
I know why I am here. I am witnessing America during one of its worst hours of its history. I am seeing Americans in their finest. God bless all of us. September 19th, 2001.
In Cedar Rapids, Aaron White, Iowa's News Channel 7.
Peter Tien now joins us live on the set to talk about more of your experiences, and it's kind of hard to believe that it's been a year since this happened.
It's been an incredible year of mixed emotions as we grow through this experience, and I've just come back from 3 weeks in there, and it was a dramatic, emotional moment for me to go back down to Ground Zero and to see the rubble removed, and I was almost disoriented, and to meet with the families again. It brought a lot of the raw emotions back to the surface.
And it's still there, even a year after. I mean, a lot of people talk about healing and moving on, but that's very hard for family members to do.
It's healing for all of us. It's going to take a long time. We look at this as a one anniversary, as a recognition, but it's not the end. For many emergency responders, it's 2, 3, 4 years of pain and suffering as we all start dealing with the aftermath of what we experienced.
Peter, we talked before one time about you. When you got to New York City, I think you were a little bit surprised, not only at the magnitude, but it was a bit chaotic, wasn't it? I mean, you have something on the set here with us called the Mass Fatalities Incident Response. Talk about what that is going to mean for the future and what that's all about.
Well, the National Mass Fatality Institute was funded by Congress It was established to train emergency responders throughout the United States how to handle disasters where mass fatalities occur. And it can be a wide range, from terrorist attacks we saw in New York to a bus accident here in Iowa.
And just to kind of give the people a little bit of an idea, pick up that binder and show how thick it is, and it takes 2 of the binders just to put in these guidelines to follow.
It does. It is the only manual of its kind in the world. And that's one of the reasons why we're receiving requests from Brazil and Germany and Korea, because everyone's needing this right now, and it took 5 years to write. Fortunately, we wrote it before 9/11.
And we talked a little bit about this earlier this week with the story at Kirkwood Community College, where that's going to be almost a national center, is it, for emergency response?
It is going to be a national center. We've received contributions from PMX, and with Senator Harkin getting us funding from the U.S. Senate, we're going to establish a building and make the Institute a world-recognized facility for emergency response.
When you keep going back to these disasters, are you amazed, though, at the resiliency of Americans and how people bounce back from the worst type of thing, even?
We saw incredible evilness there and hatred, but what we saw in return was tremendous humanity, compassion, and that's the hook that keeps you going back to disasters, because you know that you can make a difference to help people in the worst times of their lives.
Peter, good to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Good
Good
job.
seeing you.
Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Up next, as our Iowa Remember special continues.
Tonight we're going to go back to Cedar Falls. The Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center, remembering the New York City disaster, is about to begin.
It just reaffirms your faith in this country and what it means to all of us.
X marks the spot for selection. X marks the spot for savings. It's the Flooring Express X-Tag sale, and what a sale. You'll save 40 to 70% on flooring every day, but now, during our big X-Tag sale, you'll save even more, including free pad, low prices, quality flooring, huge selection, ceramic tile, hardwood, and laminate floors. Why pay more when the best cost less at Flooring Express? We guarantee it.
You need to come see what Victory Ford in Dyersville has to offer you. I'm talking about 4.99 financing and all 99 and newer used vehicles for up to 60 months. So come take advantage of our overstocked used inventory. Like this 2000 Ford Taurus SE with 29,000 miles loaded for $227 a month. Or how about a 2000 Ford Explorer 4-door with leather, moonroof, and more for $339 a month. So come take advantage of this huge sales event going on right now at Victory Ford in Dyersville, the dealership you'll send your friends to.
On September 11th, terrorists tried to change America forever. Well, they succeeded.
Women blame it on hormones.
Men on their dads.
But both can do something about hereditary hair loss with Rogaine.
Nothing's been proven to regrow hair better.
And the sooner you start, the better your chance of success.
Rogaine works.
The sooner, the better.
Techline's clean styling and natural materials say quality.
Custom, quality, value. This is what we do. This is Techline.
Iowa remembers September 11th, 2001. An Iowa's News Channel 7 special report.
Now we're back live. You hear the national anthem in the background at the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center. This is all part of the special remembrance ceremony at the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center in Cedar Falls. Underway right now. You're looking at a live picture from Cedar Falls.
All across the country today, people are paying tribute to those who lost their lives on September 11th.
That's certainly no different right here in the area. Events have been going on all across the Cedar Valley in eastern Iowa. Many events going on into the evening as well.
For more on what's happening there tonight, Crystal Britt joins us live now again from the Gallagher Blue Dorn with more.
Well, guys, this is just an example of what Eastern Iowans are doing here today to remember those who lost their lives here on this September day. Now, here, let's take a look right now. They're reading the names of some of the victims who lost their lives.
Melissa Rose Barnes, Master Sergeant Max Bilkey, Chris Romeo Escunda, Carrie Blackburn, Lieutenant Colonel Hansfield D. Boone.
Those are just some of the names of the victims who lost their lives on 9/11 last year. There's a lot of events that are going to be happening here throughout the day. The pre-show has just begun here at the Gallagher Blue Dorn. That will be going on until about 7:30 when the remembrance ceremony actually does kick off. We also have members from the Red Cross here who volunteered in D.C., New York City, and also in Pennsylvania back when everything happened in September. So a lot of things happening here today, and we will keep you posted and have a little bit later on today. Live in Cedar Falls, Crystal Britt, Iowa's News Channel 7.
All right, Crystal, and to help with the healing process, there will even be some counselors there this evening on hand to help out at the event. We'll be checking in with Crystal at the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center in just a little bit.
As we mentioned earlier, there were 7 Iowans who died exactly 1 year ago today in the attack on America, including Craig Amundsen of Anamosa. He was in his office at the Pentagon. Jim Cleary of West Des Moines was killed. He actually still lived in Iowa when he died a year ago. Tim Haviland of Ames lost his life. A Waverly native, Karen Kincaid, a lawyer from Washington, D.C. She was on Flight 77 that slammed into the Pentagon. Sandra Teague of West Des Moines. Michael Tinley, a far western Iowa town of Council Bluffs. And former Iowa State cyclone gymnast Marie Ray Soper was one of those 7 Iowans who died 1 year ago today.
A flag was raised at Clark College in Dubuque today in honor of a student still stationed in Afghanistan. A moment of silence was held shortly before 9 o'clock to remember those who died when the first plane crashed into the World Trade Center. A poem was then read by a student who lost a friend in the terrorist attacks. And the Clark community raised a new flag in honor of a student still stationed in Afghanistan.
Fueling area for the tankers, and so we thought it only fitting that we raise a new flag today in honor of all of the people.
Students and faculty also spent the day reading names of those who died during the terrorist attacks.
Governor Vilsack, of course, in Des Moines today, a special noontime ceremony on September 11th, joining the mayor of Des Moines and giving the downtown businesses a chance to participate in a prayer session, also some songs to commemorate the victims of the terrorist attack.
In Waterloo, First Presbyterian Church used its bell tower to make a musical tribute this morning. The bells rang for 10 minutes this morning, starting at 8:46. Using just 11 notes on a tiny keyboard, the church's music director played several songs, including America the Beautiful.
And Hawkeye Community College in Waterloo giving students a voluntary dismissal option this morning. Some students took them up on the offer, leaving a class at 8:40 to add their thoughts and prayers to a September 11th wall of remembrance at Hawkeye.
Eastern Iowa high schools were the site of many events, and one in particular had a moving tribute. Students at Union High in LaPorte City put together an assembly that included speakers, songs, and images of 9/11. Photojournalist John Dodge captured the moment of reflection.
We come here today for many reasons. We're here to remember all the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. Oh, you see by the dawn's early light, what's so... And all of a sudden, my normal day that seemed a little unusual was now a living nightmare. Who would have known that this day, this normal fall day on the 11th of September, would be a day that I and the rest of America would never forget.
The Federal Aviation Administration alerts NORAD.
Very proud to be American. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
There's events today at Union High School in LaPorte City, looks like to me. They put together a fabulous program
They
today.
certainly did. Up next, Chief Meteorologist Craig Johnson will be in with a look at your forecast.
Well, it's affected my life like on the days like today when September 11th comes around. It hurts to think of everybody that was lost in it.
Mom had a theory. To stay on top of wrinkles, she had to stay on top of, well, the dryer. Breakfast! Now, instead of waiting for the buzzer, she adds Downy Enhancer to the wash. It's this fabric softener that helps keep wrinkles away. Mom tosses the Downy ball in, and this is cool. It opens by itself in the rinse. Clothes can hang out in the dryer without getting so wrinkly.
And life doesn't revolve around the buzzer.
Downy Enhancer in, wrinkles and static out.
It's here and it's bigger than ever. Holdeman Motors Price Slicer Sale. Over 500 vehicles marked with sliced prices. $20,000 vehicles price sliced as low as $14,000. Used from as low as $12.95. 0% financing plus giant rebates on all new 2003s in stock. New Chryslers covered with a 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. Plus, prices placed on hundreds of certified used vehicles still under warranty. Sneak peek preview 5 p.m. Friday. Gates open 8 a.m. Saturday. The Price Slicer Sale, Holdeman Motors. Call the Slicer hotline 277-1210.
After the procedure, you get these free breadsticks.
Here are your free cheese sticks. It's promotional.
Here's your dry cleaning. Oh, and don't forget your free cheese sticks.
Everyone's giving away free cheese sticks. But only at Pizza Hut can you get the unbelievably huge, extra-large Big New Yorker pizza for $9.99 with free cheese sticks or breadsticks.
Who's getting grease on these cheese sticks?
Sorry about that.
The enormous Big New Yorker and free cheese sticks or breadsticks at Pizza Hut.
The Farley Speedway is geared up to host the 25th annual Yankee Dirt Track Classic, September 11th through the 14th. Action gets underway Wednesday with an all-new race, the IMCA versus NASCAR Late Model Challenge. Thursday's action features the Hobby Stocks main event and the Deary Brothers Summer Series Late Model Race. Friday will feature the main event for the Pro Stocks. Saturday is the grand finale featuring the 100-lap fun Late Model Race, plus the main event for the Modified. Action will take to the track every night at 7. Call or visit SimmonsPromotions.com for ticket prices and more info.
I'm Mark Schnackenberg. Each Tuesday in September, I'm teaming up with Hy-Vee to give away cash. It's the Brands for Grands $100,000 giveaway. Register today at your local Hy-Vee or visit KWWL.com for details. The Brands crew is coming.
We knew this cooler weather was on the way. Just
and pleasant, isn't it?
Really didn't think it was going to happen.
You have to trust, Bob.
I know. It's going to stick around, too.
Yes, it is. We're going to see some changes coming up here by the weekend, some wet weather coming up. The temperature's getting even cooler.
Wow.
So get set.
I will.
Let's take a look at Storm Team 7 triple Doppler radar right now. No rain over eastern Iowa at the moment. We will stay dry all night long. And tomorrow also promises to be a dry day over Iowa and a large part of the upper Midwest. We have very nice temperatures outside right now. Let's check those readings. And those are running in the 70s at this hour. There's the Waterloo Skycam Live. And a current temperature of 75 degrees. Dubuque and Cedar Rapids at 73, and Iowa City currently 76. Some other readings: Charles City at 73, Decorah 72, Prater Sheen at 75, Monticello and Washington 77, and Marshalltown currently at 74 degrees. And a check on the WeatherNet, we see Independence Middle School at 78, John F. Kennedy Elementary School at 76 degrees, and Lincoln Upper Elementary School currently at 76. Pollen counts today are running in the moderate to high category, ragweed at 46, and total pollens currently at 84. Now, looking at our temperatures around the Midwest, not only are we enjoying temperatures in the 70s pretty much area-wide, readings are pretty uniform today. The warmest spot back to the south and west, temperatures reaching the low 80s over parts of Kansas this afternoon, otherwise 70s over much of the upper Midwest. We have high pressure anchored right on top of eastern Iowa right now. It'll be drifting eastward overnight tonight. This is providing light winds and a very pleasant day. Satellite imagery picking up some high cloudiness, and that is all. We'll see some of these high clouds drifting overhead tonight, but the main area of precipitation running well out to our west. By morning, some scattered showers over the plain states. Those will inch into western or southwest Iowa tomorrow afternoon, but here in eastern Iowa, we'll see a few clouds, but also quite a bit of sunshine along with pleasant temperatures tomorrow. Tonight, triple Doppler forecast, some high cloudiness around, otherwise light and variable winds, and cool temperatures, overnight lows by morning between 45 and 50. For tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, south winds at 5 to 12 miles an hour, and high temperatures in the middle to the upper 70s. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, light south winds and low temperatures in the low 50s. That shouldn't be 75 for the Dubuque area. Should be right around 51 degrees for Dubuque. And then looking ahead on the 7-day forecast, a slight chance of a shower late Friday, better chances of rain on Saturday, ending Sunday, and cooler temperatures running mainly in the low 70s, some spots maybe upper 60s on Sunday. Overnight low temperatures also backing off to the 40s by Sunday and on into the first part of next week. So, you know, we are headed towards fall here.
Yes.
And the weather's starting to act like it a little bit.
We don't have to rush into it, though.
Well, you know, we can rush to fall. Let's just not rush to winter.
That's right.
Okay.
Just slow down a little
All
bit
right.
there. Thanks, Craig.
Our Iowa Remember special here, continuing with a look at how two very, very different cultures view the attacks of September 11th.
The September 11th attack just devastated my world. I had been raised all these years to think nothing would happen over here, that the war would be over there. Now I'm scared of everything. You watch people more closely. I know I do. I watch to see if they leave a package. You know what I mean? I'm afraid. I'm deathly afraid.
The biggest money-saving store-wide autumn furniture sale is on now at Frederick Furniture and Grundy Center. You'll find a huge selection, higher quality, complete service, and lower prices with discounts of 20, 30, even 50% and more. Flex steel sofas starting as low as $4.99. Lazy Boy rocker recliners starting at $2.49. Discounts on leather sofas, Simmons and Sealy bedding, and all Mohawk and Philadelphia carpets. Plus, now through September 28th, pay no interest until March 2003. Or pay cash and get an extra 5% discount at Frederick Furniture and Grundy Center.
Remember how independent your first driver's license made you feel? You had the confidence to do what you wanted to do. Relive that feeling every day with Allied Auto Insurance. Feel independent. Contact your independent agent about Allied Auto Insurance.
Hi, can I help you?
What's a Mediterranean chicken sub?
Let me tell you.
It's roasted chicken breast, feta cheese, fresh veggies, Greek dressing, fresh baked bread. It's the Mediterranean chicken breast sub. You're gonna love it. Opa!
Try one of our 7 6-inch low-fat subs with baked glaze and a drink. An entire low-fat fresh value meal with just 8 grams of fat or less.
Subway. Eat fresh.
May he bless you and keep you. May he grant you peace. Amen. Amen. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you all next week, and please be careful going home.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody.
Who's ready to play Powerball, the game show?
Let's play.
Let's play.
Okay, we may not let you host, but you could win a chance to be a contestant on the show, competing for $1 million, just like these Iowa winners did, by playing Powerball, the game show scratch ticket and watching Powerball, the game show, Saturdays at 6:30 on KWWL.
Probably safe to say, like so many of the great events of the United States, the Pearl Harbor, John F. Kennedy's assassination, the Challenger disaster, I think most Americans remember exactly where they were, what they were doing exactly 1 year ago today on September 11th.
Absolutely. And while many places are unaware of their surroundings, the Amish community in particular is always aware of what's going on around it. Avi Boudreau now joins us with more on how the Amish people reacted to the attacks and how they're coping really with this 1 year later.
And it was really interesting to talk to them since normally they don't go on camera
Right.
very
That's
much.
right, exactly.
Now, members of the Amish community generally do not listen to the radio or watch TV because of religious reasons. So you may wonder how they found out about the attacks and how their lives have been affected.
It's a parallel life to the average American.
existing together but worlds apart. Bring yourself back to last September. The images so many of us have etched in our minds. Planes crashing, towers crumbling, people crying. Imagine for a second you didn't see any of that. Well, most people in the Amish community didn't, and to this day, still haven't.
A lot of Amish people have never seen any violence like that, you know, or any violence at all, you know. I mean, probably some of the worst violence they've ever seen is maybe a mad bull or a mad horse.
Living a sheltered life away from American pop culture, choosing not to watch the television or even listen to the radio, that may be a concept that many Americans may not understand. But for those in the Amish community, it's a lifestyle they cherish. An Amish man in Northeast Iowa talked to us on camera, but preferred we not show his face or give his name.
I think there's a lot of the Amish people, like a lot of Americans, just spend a lot of time praying, you know, that this wouldn't happen, you know, that we would be able to live our sheltered life, continue the way we had been and known since childhood.
We were told many Amish people didn't find out about the attacks until the next day. And while most other Americans sat glued to their TV screens hearing stories of sacrifice and heroism, this man says he didn't realize the magnitude.
It was brought up in church. It was talked about, you know, that everybody was concerned, everybody was scared, you know. I guess I was not aware that there was actually big cities mourning, you know, of the losses, you know.
Despite the differences, the Amish community represents what America is all about, having the freedom to believe. And though September 11 tested that right, America stands united. The Amish people I talked to said time and time again they enjoyed their sheltered life. And even though their religion opposes war, they honor those who are fighting for our country to ensure their freedom.
And we're talking about coming together. I covered a fire once in the Amish community, and I mean everybody showed up to help. They're just a real special people, you know.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I found too. Everyone in the community was very bonded, yes. And although they hadn't seen these events take place on TV,
they're still aware.
They were still aware through newspapers and word of mouth.
That's right.
Thanks, Al.
Well, there are several Amish communities in Northeast Iowa, including one in Olwine, which is about 45 minutes northeast of Waterloo.
A lot of American Muslims across the nation have, of course, been singled out, almost profiled since the attack a year ago.
Absolutely. Here in eastern Iowa, some Muslims received threats and criticism after the attacks, but members of the Islamic Center in Cedar Rapids have opened their doors to the community, and hundreds have taken up that invitation.
With that in mind, let's go live to our studios right now. Aaron White is standing by. Aaron, not only have a lot of people since September 11th toured the Islamic Center, some eastern Iowans have actually converted to Islam, which, of course, is the fastest growing religion in the world.
That's right, and leaders at the Islamic Center say the days after September 11th, they invited people to learn more about their faith. Little did they know some of those curious people would actually embrace their religion. Jordan Trecca was a Christian 1 year ago, but now he's a Muslim. Days after the attacks, when some Americans were retaliating against Muslims, Jordan and his pastor came to the Islamic Center in Cedar Rapids to get some answers.
After that, I started coming, and I listened, and I liked what I heard. So I read more, and I studied more, and I kept coming every week. And eventually I became Muslim.
Quran is the holy book.
His grandparents, both Christians, are trying to learn more about the religion. They say they've had to defend their grandson's decision to some of their friends.
I said, hey, we got some that are rotten in the barrel. I said, every religion's like that. So I said, hey, you can't judge everybody by just a few.
Jordan isn't the only new member of the mosque here in Cedar Rapids. In fact, since September 11th, more than 6 others have joined for the same reasons. Leaders of the congregation say they're glad Jordan and others are here, but they didn't set out to convert.
My job here as imam, and the job of every Muslim, not to go and reach people to convert them to Islam, but to reach people to inform them about us, to tell them, to teach them about what Islam and what Muslims believe in.
The Islamic Center has held about 3 open houses since last year, and they invite anyone to come out and learn a little more about their religion. Live in the Waterloo studios, Aaron White, Iowa's News Channel 7.
All right, Aaron, and members of the Islamic Center are joining with other religions for an interfaith memorial service at Coe College. That starts at 7 o'clock this evening.
Well, coming up next right here on Iowa's News Channel 7, we're going to go back to the Gallery of Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center. One final look at the ceremonies which are in progress there right now.
This kind of helped me realize that, that I am a part of America and America is a part of me, and it's making me take patriotism a little more seriously.
Gregor's is rolling out the red carpet of savings for you.
All carpeting, all floor coverings, and all brands are now on sale.
Plus, turn up some exceptional savings with no payments and no interest for 6 full months.
Our prices will floor you.
The finest in floor coverings, special low pricing, and 6 months no interest.
Now that's some plush savings.
Wall-to-wall savings are going on right now at the McGregor's Carpet Department. Visit soon.
More of everything at Tyson's.
All American Heartland interior and exterior paints featuring 20-year durability, now an extra 10% off. Men's and ladies' black leather motorcycle clothing by Interstate. Save now on Thinsulate line jackets plus chaps starting at $69.99. Lifetime Shady or Sunny Mix grass seed guaranteed to grow, or a new bag free, 5-pound bags, your choice, $6.99. And Pro Plan chicken and rice formula adult dog food for a healthy coat. Bonus bag now $23.99.
Tyson's always gives you more.
Techline's clean styling and natural materials say quality.
Custom, quality, value. This is what we do. This is Techline.
X marks the spot for selection. X marks the spot for savings. It's the Flooring Express X-Tag sale, and what a sale. You'll save 40 to 70% on flooring every day, but now, during our big X-Tag sale, you'll save even more, including free pad, low prices, quality flooring, huge selection, ceramic tile, hardwood, and laminate floors. Why pay more when the best costs less at Flooring Express? We guarantee it.
Parents, students, teachers, and volunteers at Lincoln Elementary in Waterloo held a day of patriotism this afternoon.
That's right, Patriot Day, a mission to honor and remember those even just involved in September 11th. Our Alicia Anderson was there with details.
This is a day to remember that we never forget what took place a year ago.
A Waterloo elementary school was the grounds for Patriot Day. Waterloo Mayor John Roof, fire and rescue personnel, and police officers turned out at Lincoln Elementary School for the event. The rescue workers' presence was appreciated by many of the students.
It makes me feel safe.
The day's overall purpose depends on who you ask.
We're honoring the people who died and who sacrificed themselves to save other people, because today is the day that they died, so we're going to honor them.
The events included a student and mayor-led Pledge of Allegiance at noon, followed by a moment of silence and taps being played. As the events wrap up here at Lincoln Elementary, students and adults alike remember how September 11, 2001 has impacted their lives a year later.
Since this has happened, it's almost overwhelming with the gratitude that we are getting across the nation as firefighters, but also in the city of Waterloo.
Remembering last year's events brought back mixed emotions in the school.
I'm sort of sad for the people who died a year ago, and what a waste it was.
Mayor Roof offered these words for children in the area.
The most important thing you can do is not be afraid, continue to do all those fun things that you enjoy doing in life, and remember that there are those that are there to take care of you, and don't worry.
In Waterloo, Alicia Anderson, Iowa's News Channel 7.
Good words from the mayor. Cannot live in fear. Tonight at 7 o'clock, by the way, if you'd like to take in one more ceremony, a service of remembrance will be held at the Electric Park Ballroom in Waterloo tonight, if you'd like to attend that.
We want to go back to the Gallagher Blue Dorn Performing Arts Center in Cedar Falls to check in with Crystal Britt, who joins us now live there with more on the event going on.
Well, guys, it's pretty sobering right now. In the last 25 minutes, they have still been reading off those names of those victims who died in the 9/11 attacks. So obviously that list is very long, and that's what we've been listening to for the last 20 minutes. But just to give you an idea of the events that are happening here today, I can tell you there's quite a few people here already shown up today. The American Red Cross is here with some volunteers who actually worked in New York City, D.C., and Pennsylvania, and they will be on hand here at the Gallagher Blue Dorn for the next couple of hours to answer some questions about their experience. Now, the actual concert tonight, I'm told, will be simply amazing. The Waterloo Cedar Falls Symphony and the Metropolitan Chorale will be showing tribute through music here tonight, and that will start at about 7:30. So the preview show is just still getting underway here. Victims' names still being read off today. So lots of things happening. And that event, the chorus concert will start at about 7:30 tonight, and still some tickets available for that, so give them a call and come on out tonight. Live in Cedar Falls, Crystal Britt, Iowa's News Channel 7.
All right, Crystal, and once again, the show is set to begin at 7:30, as Crystal mentioned, at the Gallagher Balloon Performing Arts Center located in Cedar Falls.
In just a moment, more memories of 9/11 when our special continues.
Everybody thinks nothing happens. Nothing's going to happen to me, and I guess it just kind of shows that it does, and it kind of makes you appreciate everything a little bit more and just be thankful for everything I have.
Hi folks, I'm Mark Birdnow. You know me, I'm the Chevy dealer in Jessup. Well, now I'm your General Motors dealer in Owine. That's right, I can now offer Chevrolet, Pontiac, Buick, and Cadillac in Owine at Birdnow Motor Trade. We'll bring 25 years of fair dealing, fair prices, great selection, and great service to all of Northeast Iowa in both Owine and Jessup. So you got to get to our place, Birdnow Chevrolet in Jessup and Birdnow Motor Trade in Owine. You'll like the way we treat you.
If you think we only offer insurance, if you think we only offer them innovative financial ideas, if you think they're the only ones who rate us so high in claim satisfaction, if you think we're only for farmers and ranchers, think again. Farm Bureau Financial Services. Insurance, investments, for everyone. Think you know us? Think again.
This is a Culligan drinking water system. Here's how it works. Imagine this is your family's drinking water, and this is a water impurity. And this is a Culligan drinking water system. It's more than a pitcher or faucet filter. It's a security system for your water.
It's easy to have the best. Rent a Culligan system for $5 a month for 3 months.
Has he been fed?
The Farley Speedway is geared up to host the 25th Annual Yankee Dirt Track Classic, September 11th through the 14th. Action gets underway Wednesday with an all-new race, the IMCA versus NASCAR Late Model Challenge. Thursday's action features the Hobby Stocks main event and the Deary Brothers Summer Series Late Model Race. Friday will feature the main event for the Pro Stocks. Saturday is the grand finale featuring the 100-lap fun Late Model Race, plus the main event for the Modifieds. Action will take to the track every night at 7. Call or visit SimmonsPromotions.com for ticket prices and more info.
Women blame it on hormones.
Men on their dads.
But both can do something about hereditary hair loss with Rogaine.
Nothing's been proven to regrow hair better.
And the sooner you start, the better your chance of success.
Rogaine works.
The sooner, the better.
That's a lot of football.
That's Friday Night Heroes, Eastern Iowa's #1 high school football highlight show. A full half hour of scores, highlights, and more. Watch Friday Night Heroes after the KWWL News at 10. Friday Night Heroes is brought to you in part by these fine sponsors.
I got it!
You know, a good friend of ours is an Eastern Iowa singer and songwriter, and she decided to put all of the emotions of September 11th into some special words.
The tragic events of 1 year ago today moved Carla Ruth to write, "Remember September."
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
We watched events unfold before our eyes, and our strength was tested, but we joined as one to overcome and show our resilience. In cities and farms, we are brothers in arms for the country that we love. Red, white, and blue, our colors shining through as we join together to sacrifice, and it strengthened our resolve to treasure all that we hold dear and help each other more. We salute all of you whose job it is to keep us safe and free, and we won't forget the legacy left by a bravery as we remember September. See how our strength has grown in all of us who take such pride in this land we call home. In all of us who take such pride in this land we call
Words and music of Carla Ruth.
I think so many people didn't know what to do, and Carla said that was one thing that she could do, is put her emotions down on paper.
You know, of all the things that I've heard, so much has been said and written about 9/11, but I think of all the things I've heard this week, the thing that stands out most in my mind was the words of a little girl. She said, well, she had lost her father in the World Trade Center disaster exactly 1 year ago today, and she said, if you have a dad, spend a lot of time with him.
Kind of sums it up here. Thanks for joining us for this 1 hour special as Iowa Remembers. We're going to go back to NBC as they continue their network coverage of this 9/11 anniversary.
We're not confined just to the attack sites. This was not just about New York or Washington or rural Pennsylvania. NBC's Bob Faw tonight in Utah on the national need to be a part of this day. Robert?
Tom, Main Street America was changed by 9/11, and even though in small towns like this one, Salina, they have moved on, nonetheless, across the country, Main Street did pause to remember. It was a day of special sounds, special sights, from church bells in all corners of America to prayers uttered in mosques in Los Angeles. In Houston, they laid down special white carnations for the victims of 9/11. In Chicago, for firefighters and policemen, they planted trees. And almost everywhere there was music, mournful and stirring. This, one of 30 choirs around the world, performing Mozart's glorious Requiem. Some ceremonies were elaborate. In Cincinnati, students gathered to form a human map. At the Florida Elementary School, where President Bush first learned about the attacks, students sang what many feel. We're proud to be an American. And it wasn't just America. In Tokyo, a moment of silence observed at the Nikkei Stock Exchange. In Italy, gondoliers honored America's loss. And spiraling over Paris, beams of light reflecting the fallen towers. From Overland Park, Kansas, where a temple lit one candle for each victim, to Freeport, Maine, where virtually the entire town turned out to parade, everywhere it seemed was a time to reflect, and as at this flag-raising ceremony here in Salina, Utah, time to reaffirm. And yet for many on Main Street, especially in this bone-dry region, other issues like the drought matter more now than 9/11.
Last year I thought a little bit about what happened on 9/11, but as far as like my life, we hear about it out here, but it really doesn't affect us much.
At Mom's Cafe, where everything is made from scratch, the mayor says the big concern here is not Al-Qaeda.
I don't think the terrorism is particularly frightening to the public. I think it's more the drugs thing is more frightening.
Partly, it's a matter of geography. Salina is a long, long way from the Pentagon or the World Trade Center. Partly, it's a mindset. Out here, people don't feel as vulnerable because there's a different ethic.
I guess maybe the code of the Old West is we'll kind of take care of ourselves.
And truth be told, in places like Salina, where daily routines have not changed, many still feel that 9/11 is something which happened out there, to others, not to us.
Of course there's terrorism, but that's for the big boys to handle. I don't know. I can't focus on everything.